Hey, Deshazor, looking back at last year's game, can you assess how much your fame and how much attention has changed since you made the interception last year to seal that win against Alabama?
I'm not gonna say I got too much fame now, but I mean, just more people know who I am, and as the season keeps progressing, people keep recognizing me across campus and off Twitter and Instagram and things. So, I mean, it hasn't blew up too much, but more people know me definitely.
Over here, Gabe on the right side.
Deshazor, how much are you looking forward to the challenge that the secondary will be presented with all those great weapons that Bama has in the receiving corps?
They definitely have some great receivers over there, and we're just gonna have to do what we do every day at practice because we go against some of the best receivers also, and we just go out there and play football and have fun, and it should be a good game.
Kate on the left side.
Could you take us through the interception at the end of the game last year? And also, I believe the series before that, you almost had an interception, but I think they reviewed it even, but I think you're just out of bounds. So just take us through that, please.
It was a 2-point play we've been working on for about a week, well, every week up to that week. So coach was constantly making us run it and practice it in practice because he said everyone runs the play for a 2-point play. And fortunately enough, they ran it as their 4th down play and not a 2-point play. And I just recognized it and jumped the route pretty much, and that's how it went.
Go to Sam here in the front.
You speak specifically about Alabama receiver Amari Cooper and the challenge that he himself poses to you guys, and kind of what he did last season too.
He's a good receiver, like one of the best I've faced all year, and he has good speed and he runs his routes pretty crisp. So, like, it's gonna be hard to get someone to mimic that in practice. So I'm just gonna have to go off of what I seen last year and try to do my best to know what he's gonna do and prepare for that. So that's all I can do.
Go to Christy on the right side aisle.
How much are you looking forward to having the entire defense back this week, and how much better do you think the defense will be with all its pieces?
It should be exciting. It'll be something new to see because, we have defensive linemen back. We got Kirby Ennis back last game, but now we have Gavin Stansberry back, and Ivan Robinson might get to play. I'm not really sure how that's looking. And we got Stephen Jenkins back and Devontae Harris on the other end and back there in the secondary. So we got some good players back, and if we all can get in sync with each other, it should be a good defense out there.
Jim, you're good.
And what about you finally getting to play a full game?
I'm looking forward to that. I don't have to come in the second half, but the thing with second half, I can watch and see what they're doing, see what their tendencies are. So when I get out there, it's just like I was in the game because I'm just sitting there studying it as I'm watching. So it'll be exciting.
Jen here in the middle.
To her question, I think people have watched y'all on defense the first 2 weeks and, licking their chops a little bit. Do you think people have seen y'all's real defense, and how much better can you be?
We can only progress. So I'm not going to say they've seen the real defense, but we have to get better, and we'll keep getting better. And this week of practice is crucial. But as a whole defense and having everyone back, we'll keep progressing and getting better. So.
Just a real quick follow-up. Do you think people watched, though, Alabama, whatever, the first 2 weeks and thought, oh, we can score on them?
I mean, yes. I feel like everyone looks at it that way. You can look at what a defense does well and what a defense don't do well, and you go off of that basically and see where you want to attack and where their weaknesses are, and that's what we're trying to improve on, is where our weaknesses are.
Kurt here in the middle.
Y'all beat Alabama on the road last year, have the Heisman Trophy winner. Why are y'all the underdog this year?
I mean, it's Alabama. So, some people think it was a fluke. And they're a good team. So, we go into the game thinking, we could beat anybody, and that's how we're going to approach this game. But we can't just go in thinking we're just going to walk in there and just run over them. It is Alabama, and they are a good team. So, we have to come ready to play, and I'm sure they're going to come ready to play after last year, after taking a loss.
Did y'all get enough credit for last year's win or not?
I'm sure we got enough credit from our fans, and that's all we need.
Go to Brent here in the front.
How frustrating was that for you to finally get in the game against Rice, and the next thing you know, you're back on the bench because of that new rule, essentially? Then I have a follow-up as well.
It was frustrating, but I learned from it. Hit lower, bring my arms, so it won't happen again.
Several of the guys have talked about how they're saying this is just another week. Everyone knows it's not just another week. So how do y'all go about treating it like it's just another week?
I mean, if you approach it like it's the Super Bowl, you're gonna go out there, be nervous, and you're gonna do things you don't normally do. So you have to approach it like it's another week. But you gotta go out there knowing that you have to play football and you have to bring your A game. So that's why we're approaching it like it's another week. But it is a big game. But we're gonna go out there and we're gonna play hard and do what we do.
We got time for a couple more. We'll go Chip.
Deshazor, will you have your hand bandaged again before the game?
Oh yes, sir.
How problematic is that? How difficult is that?
I learned to play with it week by week, and it's getting better. So it's becoming less of an issue. And I feel like it helps me out more than hinders me, because it makes me move my feet more and not try to do things I wouldn't normally do with two hands to make sure I stay in position.
You admitted that it's a big game, but you're trying to treat it like any other game. But what's the level of excitement like in the locker room, knowing that you're playing the #1 team in the country, 2-time defending national champs?
It's a high level of excitement, but it's definitely making us focus more. So it's making us work harder at practice and study film more and go out and just want to prepare to be great at going out there this Saturday. So
Suzanne in the middle.
Deshazor, how many special teams are you playing on?
Coach is still setting the roster right now, but I'm definitely listed on all 4.
Okay. Can you tell me about what you all see with Christian Jones on film as far as his receiving and his return game?
He's fast. we all know that. He's fast. He's a good returner, and we're preparing for that, and we're just gonna have to go out there and play to his weaknesses and try to play to our strengths. So
Last couple will go here on the aisle.
Back to that interception last year. Until that moment, it looked like they were driving very similarly to what they did the week before to beat LSU. Could you feel that momentum that they had at that point? That's my first question. I mean, could you tell that they kind of had it going there and that you guys are going to have to come up with something critical, or they were going to, pull what you guys thought was a win away?
Well, I trust in our defense, and I knew that, they're going to make plays. I mean, it's Alabama. They practice to make plays, just like we practice to stop them from making plays, but we're not going to be perfect every time. And they made a few plays, but I knew when we got down on the goal line, it was going to be about how bad our defense wanted it. And as you see, everybody stepped up and made plays, got pressure on the quarterback, and Dustin Harris stopped him on the goal line. A lot of people don't realize that. Tony Hurt made the saving tackle before Bell got into the end zone. And the D-line was pressuring McCarron to throw the ball fast on the out route, which caused me to get the interception. So I knew as a whole defense, if we all stepped up, we could play good together.
And once you made the interception, can you describe what that moment felt like when you realized that you guys had stopped them and that maybe you'd locked it up?
Well, I felt like everything went in slow motion after I caught it. I was trying to stay on my feet, but it was a lot of excitement, and I just wish I would have returned it so I didn't have to worry about the offense having to get in punt formation or, be pushed back so far in the goal line. But it was a good play.
I mean, did you feel pretty good, like, hey, we've done it here, or were there too many other things on your mind?
Oh, no, I felt good, definitely.
Finish up with Christy on the right side aisle.
You said earlier that you felt like people thought last year's win by y'all was a fluke. Does that kind of put a chip on your shoulder that people think maybe y'all shouldn't have won last year?
We like being the underdogs, Coach Sumlin came from Houston. I mean, they played a lot of teams that were underdogs. And our DB coach, Coach Yates, Marcel Yates, he came from Boise, and, they were underdogs a lot of times. And, when you're an underdog, you just go in there with a fighting mentality, and you just play harder as an underdog.